Hey, I'm Mitchell Davis, a Laravel developer.
G'day, mate. I'm Gavin, Head of Sales and Marketing. I'm sticking with that title.
Very
And
good.
we are the
You've earned it.
co-founders. So have you, but you're just not taking it.
I haven't
So
taken it yet. Yeah,
you're a CTO. Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
click in one day. We'll see. What are we building? I cut you off.
Yeah. Well, we're the co-founders of SixSides. We are building a community building platform and we are documenting our journey. And this is episode 14. So what's that? 4 months in a row, roughly.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. You too. It's been fun. Still enjoying every minute of it. It's fun sitting down and like going through our list of topics that we're going to talk about. You seem quite chill about it. I'm like, oh yeah, we've got to talk about these things, and you're like, yeah, the order's fine, whatever, it's all good. So it's interesting seeing the differences.
Mate, I don't see there's any point in both of us occupying the same space. So if you're fussing over it, whatever.
Fair
I
enough.
don't,
That's
just
smart.
like that at home. Like, why do the housework when Mel is really passionate about it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's not true.
I'm sure she loves that. Yeah.
Mate, we had words this week about my lack of housework, and so my effort has picked up accordingly.
Yeah. Smart. Smart man.
Yeah.
Very
How's your week,
good.
mate? How's your week been?
It's been good. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened since we recorded last time. The main thing I've been focused on basically all week is the marketing website. So I can get into that. But first, I want to give a shout out to anybody that's washing the dishes right now. We're on theme with what you were talking about there. So if you're out there, you're washing the dishes, listening to the podcast, we appreciate you. Shoot us a message on wherever you can find us, and we'd love to hear what you're up to after you finish washing the dishes. All right.
We can't guarantee we'll get all the messages that come to us, but we'll try.
We get so many of them. So
We do. It's just crazy. Yeah. The common answer is no, Mitchell does have a partner. Like, he's not single. So we get a lot of that.
That's right. There's a lot of interest out there. But no, I do. I'm happily engaged. Speaking of, this week, we actually went and looked at some wedding venues. So that's a side project away from the business. That's where I was on, I think it was Wednesday afternoon. So we went and we're looking around here for some wedding venues, and we found one that we quite like. So
might have some more. Can you talk about what it is, or is it secret?
What do you mean? Like the venue name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. We haven't locked it in yet. I think it's called Burnham Grove.
Okay. Like a cemetery?
I'll find out a bit more. Cemetery? No. Jesus Christ. No, it's not a cemetery. It's actually this really nice place, but it's in Camden, New South Wales. So, anyway, I will have some more.
Oh, yeah.
I can
Burnham
update.
Grove Estate. Looks nice.
I can update the podcast listenership as things progress, because,
Oh, yeah, people be riveted. Maybe we could do a live stream.
Not from my wedding, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I'll do a TikTok live for you, mate. And then I'll interview you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, no. All right. You're not invited anymore. Anyway,
you have a date? You have a date when it's coming?
No. So we are not locked in with this place yet, but we have reserved a date, but I am not going to share any of that just yet. So we reserved a date, or held it, for 2 weeks. We did that last night. We sent the email. And then we're going to very quickly go and look at a few other places in the area to try and just see, okay, is there somewhere that's even better? But if not, then we will go ahead with this one, and I can reveal more details later. All right. So that's very exciting, and that's happening on my side of the fence.
My only advice with that stuff is, mate, is I underappreciated how much fun I would have on a day. It is honestly the best party day that I've ever had in my life. And I'm not one for crowds and having fun stuff, but it was the best the best day that, it was awesome. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Mel asked about that. Yeah.
Did she?
She goes, do you think we'll get an invite to their wedding? I was like, well, I don't know, maybe.
I've been
We're
thinking
like
about it.
business
Yeah,
partners
I'm
now.
like, well, it makes sense. You and I hopefully
Yeah.
are going to spend years in this business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So
No
we'll see.
pressure.
Depends
She
if you
goes,
do anything that pisses me off between now and then.
untoward.
But
Yeah. Well, it's
anyway,
interesting that you referred to it as a side project, as not the
well,
most.
compared to this business and its goal of the podcast, I mean, it is a side project, but yes, that's something that I've been doing this week. Other stuff has been I'll continue on now with the rest of the week, the marketing website. So last week when we did the recording, we had I don't think I had rolled it out yet, but rolled out the site onto Cloudflare and moved us away from Laravel and Vue. So if you're interested in that, you can go back and check out the later section of last week's episode, number 13. But I continued on with that, and I'm so glad that we did make the move to Next.js, because I was able to very quickly get a theme designer up and running on the marketing website. And
It's amazing, by the way, what you've done. It's phenomenal.
Thank you. And what was even better on this long story arc of me adopting some of the AI tools like Cursor, I asked Cursor, hey, this is what SixSides is. We're an event app and this platform, and I'd love to have a page on the marketing website where people can design their own event app theme. And I want some controls on the left. I want an iPhone looking preview on the right. Gave it that prompt, and it immediately spit it out. A minute later, it spit out this, fairly crude, but all the stuff was there. Gave me this beautiful looking iPhone preview thing. Even had the iPhone notch at the top. It knew it was smart enough to do that. And then the controls all worked, so I could use a color picker and everything, and it just instantly synced it. It was amazing. So that saved a huge amount of time. You asked me about it when I showed you. How long do you think this would have taken without Cursor? I was like, this would have taken me days. As it is, I didn't just use that version. I spent probably altogether 15 hours on this, I reckon.
Yeah, right.
Probably would have taken me double that, maybe more, without the AI. So super impressive what it was able to do. Anyway, so we get into it now. The theme designer, how it works now, I got it to a point where it can, it's collaborative. So it'll generate, you go to our website, feel free to check it out. We'll put it in the show notes. You go to our website, you go design your own theme. You can then share that link with someone else and collaborate on it in real time, like you would with a Google Doc or something like that. I was able to hook that up using Cloudflare workers and durable objects, which I will talk about on this episode. What else? Then you can punch in the name of your event. You select your colors. You can add your logos and a background image. Got all of that stuff working on Cloudflare, and it was really fun. It's a totally different way of working than what I'm used to. The development stack, the tech
Being
stack.
productive. Yeah.
All right, you are uninvited to the wedding. Anyway, and then I sent it to Michael Dorinda of Laracon AU, and the first thing he said back was "Oh, that's fancy." So that made me feel pretty good. That okay, it does feel fancy. It feels like this is probably a point of difference from a lot of competitors out there. We've had early feedback, before this existed, we had early feedback from conversations that we were having with leads, and quite a few people asked, if you just had some way to quickly configure the app independently, then that would be amazing. It's such a time saver for them not having to email a style guide or something like that over to this company that's going to do their event app. Instead, you can just do it all yourself. So this is kind of the first step towards that. and it's been great. Yeah. So we then shared it with a few people. Why don't you take it from there?
Yeah, so Holly come back and says, great to see and envisage how it's going to look already. Thank you so much. She made a couple of bad color choices, but she was able to wind it back or go back. So yeah, no, she was really, really impressed. There are a couple of things on there, I think, which we've talked about is one, an undo button and go back a couple of steps. And then I've noticed that if you don't capture that URL, because it's a unique URL for every design, then it can quickly get lost. And if you lose it, you can't, it disappears. So I think that in itself, trying to capture their email and send them the unique identifier, that in itself is, I think it's needed, because otherwise people go, that's great, but then they won't be able to see, they won't be able to find it. Yeah.
Yeah, it would save in their history, like in their browser history. So I was aware of this. It could be better. So if they're cluey enough, not to say they're not smart, but if they're cluey enough to be like, oh, okay, this is my link, they can bookmark that link. But I get that a lot of people won't do that. And you would expect to just be able to go back to the designer page and then it should pick up where you left off, right? So that there's a bunch of things which would make it into a next iteration, but we're a bit time poor. We have to move on to the mobile app. So some of the other things that we want to do is what we talked about. Actually, I don't know if you talked about it last week because this is only new, but you and I have since talked about, okay, can we capture an email and send someone a report of this? And I was and like integrate it with HubSpot. I was trying to get all of that stuff done on Monday. It's just it all takes time. For now, this is just a version 1. What else would we do on there? The undo button.
Even that what you just said there is just don't assume people know to bookmark it. Like just maybe do something there where once I start playing around with it, a drop down or a little thing comes up and says, hey, bookmark this in your history or whatever you do.
That's a good idea.
For now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I've lost it there anyway. But it looks brilliant. So if anyone wants to check it out, it's sixsides.co/design. It's great. Well done, mate.
Yeah, well, thank you. It was really fun to work on. Honestly, it was fun. So, in addition to that,
and you are productive as well. I was taking a piss. I was just checking.
That's okay. I have been very productive with the marketing website because we also now have a blog. So you can go check that out as well at /blog on the website. We have our first article up, which is you doing the CEO sleepout. So we put that up, and I kind of copied the design from the podcast pages. Looks very similar, but that's now just our default kind of design. So that was a bit of fun. That took probably a day to get working, and I knew going into working on the blog that it could be a huge time sink. But I figured, okay, it will probably benefit us in the long run. This is worth putting the time in now so that you could start creating content. Last week we talked about doing a newsletter, things like that. I'm like, okay, we need somewhere to get this content up without me having to be heavily involved in it all, right? So you can kind of work independently on this. So anyway, so we got the blog article up. We've just added a link to the link now on the homepage that used to go straight to Vinny's now goes to the blog article instead, where you've gone through and explained, the reasoning behind why you're doing this, and then there's a link to go donate on the actual Vinny's page there. So that's gone really well. And then I guess we can kind of round this off with before we started recording the show today, we were on a screen share going through trying to get the marketing website set up as a development environment for you on your computer. So how did you find that experience so far? We're not finished with it yet.
I know. I don't know if I got ADHD, but I was trailing off. It was not easy. So it was,
All we did, to be
it-
clear, all we did was download 3 programs, I think. So we had GitHub Desktop, because I think that'll be easier for Gavin to use, VS Code, and Laravel Herd to give you Node, basically, for people in the know.
yeah,
That was it, and signed
people in
up
the
for a
node.
GitHub account, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But it was
So
on the
that was all we
backside of
did.
doing our signatures. It was on the backside of doing signatures. There was a few things
That's true.
stacking up there. And then I was
That's
doing some
true.
other stuff before, like in spreadsheets. So that was,
You know what we need to
although
do?
quite
Oh,
productive.
here's what we do. We get you set up with Tuple, which is a pair programming tool which I use with Chris, and when Michael and I get on a call, we're using Tuple. It's like Zoom, or whatever, but you can control each other's computer, basically.
Okay.
And so
Yep.
if we did that, then I can just do it all for you. And then you don't have to be like,
Okay.
oh, yeah, click this button up here or do that or whatever. So maybe we should do that.
Don't click that tab. But do this one.
Yeah, that's right. Keep that that folder separate. There's some things we don't need to know about each other. Anyway, so we are only partway through. You now have the Git repository on your computer, which is very exciting. You've got all the marketing code. You've got the environment variables, and now we just need to, we're literally like 2 steps away from you being able to edit the marketing site. We've got to do an NPM install, and then we've got to run the development server, and then you will have the beautiful marketing website at your fingertips. So
Phenomenal.
we'll
It's
get there, mate.
like interesting, right? Like I've been in software now since 2015, so 10 years now. Never logged into GitHub. Like I've deliberately stay out of the weeds and just try to be the operational person, and don't understand it. Don't understand. Like I know how you feel about sales, right? It's the if I can avoid it, I'll avoid it. So it's
hard. It's hard learning a new skill. But honestly, like this, the only reason I'm giving this to you as something that you can do is because this is not hard. This is, hey, make a new file, a text file in a folder, specific folder. I'll tell you exactly where it should go. And then you run a command, which is just like a click of a button, and then you've got it. And now you can work on this file as like a text document. You look like you've fallen asleep.
oh, sorry, mate.
But that's it. That's all the steps that's involved. It's not that
Mate, come on.
boring. It's super powerful.
Where were you last
can do
night when I couldn't sleep? Honestly, like this would have been awesome to listen to it to 1 a.m.
Yeah. Well, next week when you can't sleep, you can go back and listen to this episode. So, anyway,
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
that rounds out the marketing website. That's probably all the work that I will do on it for now. And we can tackle it later. One other thing to just follow up on from last week is we have started the SEO titles. So you are yet to provide any titles, by the way. So if you really want to like make this your thing, you got to start coming to the table with ideas.
Yeah, sure.
In fairness, I edited that episode at like 10:30 Monday night, and we put the episode out at like 8 a.m. on Tuesday. So there wasn't a ton of time, but if you have a title in mind, you should be sending it to me. Otherwise, I will just do what I think.
Okay.
What did you think of last week's episode?
I think it was good. I haven't listened to it yet. I've listened to the others, but I think the SEO
title.
one. Oh yeah, no, I think it was good. I think this one could be click, download, install. Shit, kill me now.
Yeah, there's a good title. Yeah, that'll get some good SEO juice. Yeah.
No, look, I think I don't think there's any secret ingredients to go, hey, wow, that got 10,000 downloads over the course of just from that one SEO. We're not even promoting it, so I'd expect to get those results anyway. I think it'll come back.
Maybe we should be.
Yeah. Where?
Like, what's stopping us from promoting this?
Yeah. Well, I've got multiple different messages I'm trying to promote on LinkedIn or whatever, but we could do it once we're going to start the newsletter. I haven't got to it this week, but we could put it
Yeah.
out on that. So, um,
Okay.
um,
So why
yeah.
don't when you've got the newsletter up and running, and when maybe we've got another blog article, then I'll start
Mhm.
pushing this out to my LinkedIn maybe every week. I think I've got about 1,000
Okay.
people on there. We'll just see. Anyway, it
Okay.
is what it is. We're not. I mean, it'd be great to have more listeners, but I'm not crying myself to sleep about it. It's not the end of the world. You and I are still having fun
Well,
recording.
yeah.
So
Well, I think we're doing it. What you mentioned yesterday, I think we're doing it for our future selves. So
yeah,
we're not there yet. So um, maybe that's what the titles could be is maybe think 3 years down the track and we have a team and we want them to come back and search on stuff that we spoke about. Or,
maybe I don't know. It feels like you really expect future employees to come back and listen to hours of us just
maybe not,
talking
but
smack.
maybe what if we go unicorn, billion-dollar
Mm.
company, and then we send people back? We'll be able to pay them then, so it doesn't matter if we don't title it or not, but properly. But
Pay them to listen to it. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yep. Um, I'm pretty sure you
Anyway,
will have changed with that money. It would have gone to your head. I'll be okay. Um, but we
I
could
might
get
have
them
hair again.
to. Why's Mitch going to Turkey?
Yeah,
Just come.
that's right. I got
Must
an
be looking at
afro
wedding
or
venues.
something. Yeah, that'll be all right.
The big orange afro.
Yeah.
No, no. So people will like maybe, yeah, they come back and they're looking at, they're just searching for topics that we're talking about, like juggling time or whatever. So I don't know. I don't think it's a bad idea. So yeah,
We'll see. We got a
yeah.
few years by the sounds of it. So you've been under the pump lately, by the sounds of it. You've been pretty busy. What's going on in your world?
Yeah, look, I guess it's like everything, it ebbs and flows, right? Like you've been stressed out for these last few weeks, and this week
Yep.
it's my turn. So
Yeah.
I'm doing a few different things. I've got obviously client commitments. I've started a new project with a great team out of Perth, Australia. So we're busy finding clients and onboarding them. But I'm also building out uh, another software platform called DealBuddy, and so that requires dealing with another agency, like with an agency, and configuring plus my day job plus this. Yeah, it's just busy. The stuff that we had, there's some stuff in my inbox about getting set up. I think we may have just addressed a lot of that this morning.
Sure.
Getting set up in a way to I think God, there's other things here look like the Google console, Cloudflare, which I
Yeah.
haven't got to. Um,
Yep.
it's just something it's important, but it's not critical. So I just can't get to it at this point in time. So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
really it's been good, right? You you want to be busy when you're a business
Yeah.
owner, right? Like you want the right busy. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been interesting to see uh, how you handle it. Nothing's really changed, but just, yeah, you've had a bit less spare time, it seems, or like a bit less availability. And it was interesting because I think it was yesterday I messaged you like, hey, could we do this? I forget exactly what it was. Probably setting up one of these things, setting up the website. That's what it was. And you were like, I'm really trying hard to just like time box, right? Like stick to a bit of a schedule and make sure you're getting to all of the commitments that you have to do. And then that's where I sent back to you. I'm like, yes, this is exactly how I feel when you asked me, like, oh, go reply to this person on LinkedIn or whatever. And I'm like so deep in a problem for a client or building something or whatever. It feels impossible to like bounce
Mm.
around like that. So it's really interesting to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
you experience that.
Yeah. Well, typically I'm okay, and then I bounce a lot of ideas off Mel, and she's kind of my what would I describe her? She
She's your
just gives it
wife,
to
I
me.
would say.
Yeah, and she gives it. like a honest assessment of what's going on. And sometimes I'm okay, but then I start straying out of the lines of where I'm most productive, and she pulls me back in. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'll take on too many things at the one time. And that's
Yep.
okay. I can do it, but I can do it for only short periods of time. I can't do it for months. So
Yeah.
once we recognize it, then we go, okay, we need to get a plan. And then you need to start addressing some of these things and knocking them out. So I could take on a couple of long-term projects and a couple of medium-term ones and a few short-term ones. But the short-term, I need to have key goals to get them off my plate, because I can't have them stretch out, because it does burn me out. So
Yeah.
I'm not burnt out, but I'm at a point now where I've gone, hang on a sec, I
At
need
capacity.
to get a structure again and get against it. And plus, I'm going away for a week in 2 weeks, and not in a week. So I need to start knocking some stuff out and getting prepared for that too. So yeah, it's all good. It's just a reflection. I'm quite conscious of my stress levels. So once I get a bit, I try not to sit in stress and discomfort for too long.
Yep.
I'm trying to be very aware of it, and then try to address what's going on. And I'm just in that period now, just decluttering. So, yeah.
Mate,
Yeah.
it's exciting. You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, speaking of a lot going on, last night you went to Start Club Brisbane. How was that?
Yep.
What is that, and how was it?
Yeah, so it's an incubator for early stage founders. And so I mentor the group as well. So I'm quite active in the startup community here. So last night was a pitch night, and we've spoken to Holly, which runs the event, about SixSides, and she's really keen. And she was really keen for us to use SixSides last night. But we actually asked her to pause. We said, look, we're not quite ready. We want to make sure we offer the right value, because this is really important. I learnt last night at the precinct where they run this event, they run over 300 events annually. It's way more, right? It's all about the community building aspect there. But Holly's liked what we've done so much. She tried to implement some of the functionality through other platforms, and she was surprised that particularly people asking questions during the pitches and stuff. So she come to me last night and she said, you have to August to get me your app, because I want to use it on the next one. I was like, okay. So we should have that done by then, right? So at least a simplified version of it. But it's good. So last night I took a heap of photos like I was using SixSides, and we're going to put together a rap video for them just to get them excited, and share it with the community and use it as a bit of a lead generation tool, an excitement building tool. But yeah, it was good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's cool. This feels like opportunistic of, okay, clearly Holly really wants this, which is fantastic. And you being there and actually being able to take photos and capture the vibe of the place, and then us using our technology to create one of these wrapped videos, even though we weren't officially like running the event, right? They weren't using our app yet because it's not available. So us being able to kind of go, well, okay, cool. Something that we can still provide value for is doing this wrapped video, and just using all these photos that you took separately. I think it's a pretty cool idea. So yeah, you sent that to me, and I was like, absolutely, we can. So you sent me all the photos, and I'll get that generated this afternoon, and we can get that out nice and quick. So yeah, really exciting. Okay,
it'll be really good. She's away for today, so if we can go and put that post on LinkedIn, tag everyone who was at the event, and put the rap video there, powered by SixSides. How good's that? Yeah,
it'll be great. And and she gets a benefit of stuff happening while she's not even doing it, So yeah, I think that's a win. Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
So we've got next on our list shirts for our partners. What's going on there?
Mate, I think, well, as you can see, I'm still the lucky one that has all the kit. I haven't sent yours yet, which is in the mail. It's on the site on the floor. But I think our partners our partners are part of the journey, right? And I think maybe we should get them a couple of shirts each, even a hat, right? So,
Yep.
so they can feel part of it as well. I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you think? What's your yeah?
I like that. This was my idea originally. So maybe you went back and listened to one of the older
I
episodes and have
forgot.
stolen my
No,
idea.
no,
Because
no. I didn't even. I
this
didn't
is
even
what
think
I
about it.
said. I was like, yeah, we should get some shirts or some merch for Mel and Nicole. So yeah, I think it's a cool idea. And maybe we can use this as an opportunity to fix up the logo for this particular printer, because we've noticed that there's a bit of a misprint on the 6 in our logo on this round of merch. We don't have to get all of our stuff again, but at least we can fix it up for the next like for Mel and Nicole's stuff. So yeah, we'll
Yeah, I will go back to him and just let him know. Like, I'm sure they did amend
yeah.
it. Looks like they missed the final line on it. So,
Yeah.
because it's a half-size line. So, yeah, I will check what I've actually sent him, because it could have been an error on my side. I don't think it is, because if it's an error on my side, it's an error from you. So, no.
Throw me under the bus. That's fine. Maybe it
Yeah.
was. I don't know. But when we look at our logo in Canva, it doesn't look like it looks like. I mean, in Figma, it doesn't look like it does on your hat right now. So
Yeah, yeah,
something somewhere
yeah.
has gone wrong. So if we can find it,
Yep.
great. I don't care whose problem it is, but anyway, I will accept the blame if it's mine. So yeah,
Yeah, we'll
totally.
have
I
a look
think we
while we're
should.
talking. Yeah.
Sure. Yep. I totally think we should. I think that'll be a fun thing for us to do. I'll ask Nicole if she's actually interested, because maybe she's not.
Yeah, she's like, no,
But
I don't believe in you that much. Yep.
yeah, that's right. I don't know. SixSides. It was the icon, like the 6, was her idea. So surely she'll want to rep the merch. But
Yeah, absolutely.
anyway.
Yeah.
We will see. I am mindful of we've got a bit of a hard out, and I do want to talk about the database stuff. So why don't we talk about that now, and then if there happens to be some more time, we can get into some other stuff. So last week I touched on some of the technical aspects of what we're doing. I went through how we're now using Cloudflare to do all of our DNS, and then to do the marketing website. As a part of that marketing website work, I touched on earlier in this episode, the theme designer uses this technology called durable objects, and it's kind of it's a bit of a tricky one to talk about, because it's not, to me, it's not super clear exactly what it is. But in my head, it's kind of like it's this idea of there's just a little bit of storage space somewhere out there in the cloud, which is local to the person visiting that our website in this case. So like if someone's in Sydney, somewhere in the cloud on Cloudflare, there's a little bit of space that we can put stuff in and store on behalf of that user. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. So for the theme designer, we're storing their theme, right? So they've given us their colors and the name of their event. They've given us their logo, etc. We just store all that stuff in this little bit of space, and we can do stuff with that data. So they can send us an update. They can say, okay, now change the color to be red, or change the event name to be da-da-da, whatever. And we can then, using code, we can go and change that stored data. What you can also do with these durable objects is you can listen to those changes. And there's this technology which I've used now for many years called WebSockets. And that's how you are seeing real-time changes happen, like collaborative changes. When I open up the link and then you open up that same link, if I make a change, you see it in real time. That the technology that enables that we're using. There's lots of ways you can do it, but the way we're using it is called WebSockets. And basically, these durable objects on Cloudflare make that possible. So it's not just storage, it's also like this extra compute layer on top. And I don't really know how to do that on AWS. which is what we were using before, they have this other technology called Lambda, which we are still using for our Laravel side of things. It actually runs on Lambda, but for this type of real-time like interactivity thing, these durable objects are amazing for this. And for now, if we go back to November last year with the Laracon Australia app, there were a few areas of the app that were in real time. So one of them was the Q&A area where people can ask questions on a given talk. Go in, you can ask questions, and you can upvote the questions as well. So if someone's asked a question that you think is really interesting, great, you can upvote it. And those counts were getting updated live in real time, as opposed to like having to pull down the page to refresh and get the new list of questions or whatever. I wanted that to just all work in real time. And the way I did that was also with WebSockets, but we used this service called Pusher. Pusher's just like another SaaS application that they manage WebSocket infrastructure for you. And so I used that.
Do all these come with costs? Do all these come with extra costs that, they're like subscription models and stuff? Yeah.
Pusher is, yes. So they do have a free tier, but because I knew there would be, potentially 400 people all accessing the app at the same time, I got us on to like the next tier up, which is, I don't know, it's like $50 a month or somewhere in that realm, right?
Yep.
So,
Gotcha.
So if there is a way, which I think there is, a way to get rid of that from our infrastructure, great. And I mean, that's only $50 a month, right? Or somewhere thereabouts. It's not the end of the world. But if there's a way that we can provide the same functionality using these Cloudflare durable objects, which are effectively free, like such low cost that it basically doesn't matter. You pay a $5 a month fixed for like just access to run these things. And then our usage, we're not running the next Facebook, not right now at least. Our usage is going to be so low that it's effectively free, right? Mm-hmm. So using it for this theme designer to do the collaborative aspect has shown me what's possible with it. Super powerful. So then we get into databases. So a problem that we are trying to solve with this business is how do we handle events in other parts of the world, right? So we've talked a few times, we've got an opportunity, which is not yet finalized, but an opportunity for an event in Denmark in a few months' time. And so us being based in Australia, the latency, the lag for anyone in Denmark to connect to a database server here in Sydney would be awful, right? It'll take like seconds to load the app and it'll just be awful. So we've got to have some infrastructure overseas, and ideally we're wanting to go after a few different regions around the world, right? So how do we keep our costs down while also providing like a great experience for all the different parts of the world? So these durable objects, I think, will give us that. So how I'm thinking about using them is that we will maintain a few fixed databases in different parts of the world. So we will have one on AWS in Sydney. Then we might have one like in somewhere in the west of US, like of America, to kind of cover that part of the globe, and then maybe another one in Europe. And we could spin these up as we have events in those regions, right? So if we then we have an event in Africa, we could put a server in Africa as well, and that would be okay. But to try and keep the costs down, we make these fixed size databases, so not serverless, like I was talking about with Michael when he was here in the live chat a few weeks ago. You're
going to do a podcast with him in a couple of weeks, aren't you?
I'll have to. Yeah, I would like to. I haven't talked about that with him yet, but yeah, for when you're away overseas. So yeah, Michael, if you're listening, you might get a message from me. So what we're thinking with these durable objects is that basically when there's an event happening in, say, Denmark, we will be able to leverage these durable objects to talk to our copy of the event data, so attendees, speakers, sponsors, etc. And that might live, I don't know, in Paris, for example, right? I'm just pulling cities out, but that might live in Paris, and that's like the actual source of truth for the data. But then to serve an event in Amsterdam or Denmark or whatever, I don't know. My knowledge of Europe is not very good, so forgive me if I'm naming things wrong. But in Denmark, let's say, then Cloudflare will have one of their data centers, or points of presence, they call them. We'll have that, and that's where we can put this durable object, which just effectively has like a copy of all of that information. And it's then, milliseconds for our app to go and access that information straight from Cloudflare, as opposed to having to hit our infrastructure, our databases on AWS. And then the final piece of all of this is the real-time WebSocket stuff. So because we're using durable objects, if someone comes through and sends us a new profile picture, or the organizer wants to change a talk title, or someone needs to log in or whatever, that request will still go to our database in Paris. But then in real time, we will sync that information over to Denmark on Cloudflare, and then that will broadcast it out immediately to anyone that's got the app open. So, and all of this, super cheap. Like the Cloudflare aspect, effectively free. We'll be able to run databases at fixed size for like $30 a month, $50 a month, something like that. So our cost to scale become like really affordable.
And that, I guess that would, because we want to have a freemium tier, right, where we offer people the ability to use SixSides for small meetups. So that's kind of helps address that, right? So yes, of course, there's going to be a cost to do it, but it's not exorbitant. So we'll be able to absorb that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it will scale really well. It'll scale. I don't quite know the right term, whether it's like if it's linearly or exponentially or whatever, but we can put a lot of events on this infrastructure without increasing our costs, because the real part that actually will get hit a lot, like a lot of traffic, is the Cloudflare durable object stuff, which they handle really well. You can have thousands of connections to these things, still doing the WebSockets, like broadcasting stuff out in real time. It'll mean there's way less traffic actually coming to us, which is just awesome, right? So, yeah, I'm really excited about this. I have got proof of concepts working. Like I have got a version of our app which can talk to one of these things and pull down changes. I make a change over here and now it's live on my phone a second later. Like it is working. And I had that working, 6 weeks ago or something like that. Maybe I can transition because we're going to have to wrap up the episode soon, but I am now back to working on the app again. So now that the marketing website is at a version 1 where we can just leave that for a little bit, then I've now got to get back into it with the marketing, with the mobile app rather. So I'm now looking at, okay, how do I hook all of this up and take it out of a proof of concept stage into an actually working and deployable stage? And this is the infrastructure that we're going ahead with for now. We will be able to change it in the future if we need to, but this will be very likely, unless something changes between now and next week, this will be the stack that we go with. So it's exciting.
Question for you, mate. Mm-hmm. It is exciting. How do you learn, for other developers that might listen to this in the future, how do you learn about this stuff when you don't know? Because you are clearly into a realm of development that you you haven't been in before, or maybe not clearly, but it
Yes.
seems like, I should say,
Yeah. No,
even with
it is new.
cursor and this stuff. So how do you learn it, and then without making, that other people could maybe take some lessons from?
How I came across uh, the durable object stuff was just looking at Cloudflare workers. How I got onto those was I knew we needed to implement caching better in our app. And caching is like not recomputing stuff all the time. So right now, like if you hit our Laracon Australia app, that is talking to our backend, and it's making database requests every request that comes through in the app. So every time someone opens up a new page, we're hitting our database. And I knew that would be okay for Laracon Australia. And we leveraged a serverless database so that we could spike like with demand. That was all fine. But with all of these goals that we've got of making this more affordable to run and scale, I knew I needed something else. So immediately, like in my mind, Cloudflare is like very big on caching, right? That's a huge part of what they do. That's how they save websites from going down with too much traffic. It's because they store a copy of that information for a while. So that's why I went looking for this. But then what got me onto Cloudflare Workers was this database solution thing that I'm talking about. The underlying technology is called Tinybase, if you want to look it up. And they have a direct integration with these durable objects. So you can use durable objects to hold this copy of a database, basically. So it was just kind of like working my way through of, okay, what's the end goal? We need to hit our servers less so that we can make them cheaper. And then looking at what options are out there. Oh, well, maybe we can just broadcast changes out to the phones as opposed to them having to hit us constantly. And that led to Tinybase. And then I knew I wanted to use Cloudflare for this. Oh, turns out Tinybase can use durable objects. So I was just kind of following this like linear path. As far as the AI aspect, it's been super helpful for giving it just a prompt of like, hey, I want to use workers on this, or I want to use durable objects. How might I hook this up? And it's got all this experience with it. You know, it can just generate the stuff for you. That's been really helpful as someone who, like, prior to 6 weeks ago or something like that, had never used any of this stuff, didn't know anything about it. Right. So, yeah, it's just kind of, that's the way of learning any new technologies. Forget about the AI aspect. That's just made it probably a bit faster. But yeah, it's just like you kind of come across things, you know, maybe on Twitter, or you see a news article or a YouTube video or whatever. And then it's like, oh, that's in the back of my head. Maybe one day I could use that. And yeah, that's the path that we're going down now. So
Yep. Okay. Interesting. Yep.
it's exciting.
Cool.
No doubt next week, I will hopefully will be able to log into our copy of the app again, because right now we can't, because our infrastructure is in this state of like this in between state. The Laracon app still works, and that's what you're using for demos. But anyway, we'll get there. So hopefully next week there'll be a mobile app update to share. All right.
Yeah, gotcha.
So why don't we wrap up here now, mate? So where can people find you online?
LinkedIn's the easiest place. Yeah, Gavin, Ty, Tye. Yep. How about yourself, mate?
Mitch Dav everywhere. Oh, you have a GitHub now, you nerd. If you want to follow Gavin.
No. Yeah, I'm maybe trainee CTO. Yeah, I don't even send people follow me on GitHub, can they? I have no idea.
They can, yeah, they can follow you. So I think you're GavTy76 if you want to check him out.
Okay.
But you can follow me, Mitch Dav, on all the places. We'll have it all linked in the show notes, along with anything that we talked about today. But I think we're pretty light on links, maybe just the Vinny's CEO Sleepout. So if you do want to support Gavin on that journey and donate for a good cause, there'll be a link for that in the show notes. Mate, let's wrap it up there. Thank you for listening. leave us a rating, a review. We'll have to check those. Maybe we can check them next week, see if there's anything new. And I hope you have a good week.
To all the dishwashers out there, stay shiny.
You've been working on that for an hour. Well done. I like it.
It literally just come to me, mate. So, yeah.
He's sharp. Right, everyone.
All
We'll
right.
see you next week.